Welcome to the show, everyone. I'm Sherry Horner, your host at Health Fitness Broadcast, bringing you the latest fitness topics, hottest fitness topics, and latest health issues. Today, exercise physiologist Jeffrey Beck joins us from Salt Lake City. Welcome back to the show, Jeffrey. It's been a few years.
Yeah, it's good to see you, Sherry. You look
It's
well.
Thank you. You too. It's been quite a
Thank
few
you.
years. I think it was like 2007 or 8 or something like
Believe
that.
2007,
The
yes.
last time
It's
we
been a
talked.
number of years.
Yeah.
7 years already. Can you believe that?
Yeah, so you talked then about going to work in rehabilitation facility, and now you are doing that in Salt Lake City. So I have questions about that I want you to share some information with our viewers. But before that, I want to say I love the segments that you do on the news, the fitness segments that you do. Enjoy watching those a lot, and I'm sure everyone in Salt Lake City can see you there weekly or you've been there often. Lots of information. And that is on KUTV Channel 2
Channel
News.
2 News, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yes,
check
thank
it.
you. It's really a lot of fun doing that. And yeah, I do it once a week on Thursday mornings.
All right. So those that are not in Salt Lake City, can they find these segments on your website?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, jbeckfitness.com. I have a link to the YouTube videos where they post them from the news station, so they can check them out there. Lots of fitness tips there that people can do at home and also at the gym.
Yes, absolutely. I like those. So I will have that information below in the description box if anyone wants to click on his website and check those out. So we're talking heart and lung issues. Anyone who has had, name some of the different heart, of course, heart attack. What are some of the other heart issues that could
So
end, land someone in the hospital and then in rehab following that?
yes, so with some of the other heart-related issues would be a blockage from a peripheral artery, which they can go in and put a stent in to open up that blockage. Of course, there's the open heart surgery where they'd have bypass surgery. But the technology is getting so vast and streamlined and sharp that they're going to get to a point, I think, eventually they won't even have to open anybody up to do this. I mean, already they're doing valve replacements by going through the femoral artery. It's pretty amazing what they're able to do now. And yeah, there's I've seen everything from a stent placement to clear a blockage that is only an overnight stay in a hospital bed to a full-on heart transplant. I've worked with a variety of different people who, they have a ventricular assist device that they have to carry around and change the batteries to help assist the heart to pump the blood through their body. Without it, they die. It's just kind of a device they have to have until they get a heart transplant. I mean, there's a lot of different types of heart issues that I see, and I've seen everything from worst case scenario to nothing that's too serious. So.
So when you work with these people, my goal with this topic is to help those people that have not had an issue, but they know someone who has, someone in their family, to give them the reminder tools of what to do, what to have their loved one do. Because we all know once you've had something happen, whether it's a heart issue or any kind of medical issue, and then you go through the rehab, and then slowly you get out of the habit of doing the maintenance things that you need to do. Just like everyone else with fitness, you get off your routine and then you get out of the habit of doing the regular maintenance things. What are some of the things that when the person is with you, fresh out of surgery, how do you start with them as far as fitness and rehab?
So yes, exactly. Fresh out of surgery, they're going to have some upper body restrictions, so they can't lift over 10 pounds for about 6 to 8 weeks or drive a car. So they're pretty dependent on others to kind of help get them to the next phase once they're able to use their arms. But for what I do and what I prescribe to these patients that I see is I would focus mostly on getting them walking. And after a traumatic surgery like that, it takes a while to get everything going again and get the body working normally like it should. So I recommend doing 15 minutes of walking in the morning and 15 minutes again at night, just to ease themselves back into the flow of exercise. But our goal is to get them between 30 and 60 minutes 5 days a week, and I recommend that they do that almost immediately after discharge. So even if they can only do like 10 or 15 minutes a day, at least they're working their way up to that 30-minute mark. So it's typically just walking at a moderate intensity level where I start them, and then once their doctor clears them to use their arms, I get them on a stepper machine where they can use their arms back and forth to start building up the muscle mass that they lost, or the lean muscle and the strength that they lost while they were in the hospital recovering. So, yeah, I get them going on a strength training program as well as the cardiovascular, which is very important in the recovery process.
Right. So a lot of people have, for different situations, have a physical therapist come to the home after they leave the hospital
Mhm.
from the surgery to what you do there in the rehab, and then there. But there's a lot of people that aren't. They don't because maybe they can't afford it. Their insurance doesn't pay for it, but they still need someone to motivate and push them. So,
Mhm.
what are some good reminders that those family members can give to that person to keep them on track?
Yeah,
Like,
so
of course, not to say you don't want that to happen again, do you? Not to use that
yeah,
one, but
that's
what are some little motivators that you use with your patients there that people at home can use to get that patient to stay on track?
well. I always recommend that they remind them that they're doing this for health reasons and that they want to maintain a good quality of life. I mean, that's the most important thing, and to improve their activities of daily living. Because I mean, if you're not able to lead a full life, what's the point, really? If you're just going to sit around and do nothing and waste away and just feel sorry for yourself, I mean, that's not a really good way to live your life. And so we always tell family members to keep them motivated, you know, remind them why they're doing this. It's to a lot of the patients I see still have kids and family and still raising a family, and they want to live for them. And uh, these kids want to do things with their dad or their mom, and they want them to be around for a while. And so they're going to help them get outside and walk with them. I always encourage family members to do the exercise with them so they can have someone to do it with, because I mean,
Right.
let's face it,
It can get boring.
yeah, working out alone can be pretty dull.
Yeah.
I mean, exercise, as you know, isn't always fun, but if you can do anything from kicking a soccer ball with the kids outside for 15 minutes a day, and just gradually build up from there, or um, tossing a frisbee around for the dog, going
Oh, that's fun.
hiking on little moderate hikes. I mean, nothing serious like up a steep mountain or anything, but we have a lot of hiking trails here in Salt Lake City because of the areas.
Mhm.
We have the Wasatch Mountain Ranges close by, so hiking's pretty big here. So I try to get people out and go on these little hiking trails that are beautiful walks. And if you got a great view and beautiful scenery, it makes that walk a lot easier.
Absolutely. And if not, if you're in an area where it's cold weather and you have no place to get outside because of the cold weather, or you just live in the city, the mall, walking in the mall during the
Yeah,
winter
mall
months.
is another place that we recommend. So, um, yeah, getting out there early in the morning. There's usually not a lot of people at the mall, so it's a good area to do a couple of laps and call it good for the day, or
Yeah,
go back later. Or a
yeah,
lot
that's
of the
good.
malls around here will open it before uh, they open it really early, so people can come and do that.
Oh, great. That is good.
So
I really like the tip about the dog. I mean, that sounds simple, throwing the frisbee to the
yeah,
dog, but there are a lot of people who are alone during the day because they're recovering still, but their family members are all working. So that's a really good tip
true.
with the dog.
Yeah, and
Yep.
again, they have to rely on other people too to get them through the process, whether it be driving them somewhere, depending on the severity of their surgery. So having good family support is essential for a full recovery and maintaining that healthy lifestyle throughout the rest of their lives.
Yeah. So do you mention nutrition to them, or do they see their own nutritionist when they're there with you?
Yes, we do give them guidelines to follow. We actually hold a class every Friday that patients and their family members can come to, that we address topics like pulmonary issues, nutrition. We'll have a dietitian come and talk about the American Heart Association diet, which is something that we definitely would recommend to patients who've had open heart surgery or maybe had a blocked artery and they need to watch what they eat, which the American Heart Association basically entails a low fat diet, low sodium. Low sodium is very important, especially after a heart surgery, because that spikes the blood pressure, salt does. And taking as much load off of the heart after an intervention like that is very important. So managing their sodium intake is pretty important as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so none of that restaurant food for a while, right?
Yes, unfortunately,
No
yes,
eating out for a while.
for a little while.
Those are really good tips. So what about some other conditions other than heart? What about the pulmonary conditions that you see?
Mhm.
Now you mentioned get up, get walking right away. Is that the same case with those patients?
Yes, especially with pulmonary patients. We see patients who have COPD, who have emphysema, who are waiting lung transplants, and we definitely want to get them working mostly on upper body stuff to improve their strength level, but also for their cardiovascular fitness as well. We usually have to put some of the patients on a supplemental oxygen while they exercise because their blood oxygen levels drop drastically. But I've seen patients who've come several times. They couldn't hardly walk on the treadmill for 5 minutes. By the time they left our facility, they were up over 30 minutes, no problem, with a minimal level of supplemental oxygen. So, I mean, I've witnessed how essential exercise is for improving quality of life in patients who think that they have no hope.
Right.
So, especially in lung patients, there's nothing worse than having something wrong with your lungs. And I've heard patients tell me time and time again, even doctors who've performed surgeries saying, give me open heart surgery any day of the week over anything lung related because it takes twice as long to recover from a lung intervention roughly than it does anything with dealing with the heart. So
Oh, wow.
these
Yeah,
patients
I
are,
didn't know that. Wow.
yeah, it's difficult. I mean, these lung patients are, it's tough to deal with that, and
So,
having a place to go to exercise and being on a routine is really important for these patients.
yes, absolutely, really key. And having a strong will too. You mentioned when
Definitely.
they thought they couldn't do anything, and you see how quickly.
Yes. Yeah, attitude is everything too. You've got to want to be better, and you if you don't, I mean, you're not going to. It's a state of mind that you have to be in. So we try to instill that in all of our patients, um, and just try to be as positive as possible because otherwise they'll deteriorate pretty quickly.
That's awesome. So, this is some great information. I wanted to mention the hospital that you're associated with. If you want to, you don't have to, but it's in Salt
Hmm.
Lake City. But it sounds like you guys are doing a great job there.
Yes, yeah, I really enjoy my job. It's very rewarding. I never in a million years would have thought I'd enjoy working at a hospital, but I do. It's I don't want to do anything else. It's really something I enjoy.
Now, I love your personality because you're very easy to talk with. So I imagine you're very patient with your patients.
Oh,
Yeah, and but on the flip side, you have a lot of energy. Being a martial artist, being a fitness specialist, you have the other energy where you have motivated a lot of people in the past to get fit, lose weight, and keep going on that road to healthier living. And
sure.
so you have, and I'm sure that there are times that you've come on strong with those people, like, you can do this, you've got to do this. So
Mhm.
are there, even though you're patient and calm with the patients, are there times where you're like, you've got to go one step further today?
Yeah,
You've got
definitely. I
to.
mean, I have had to do that a lot of times. I mean, some people are so motivated that you don't need to do that. Some patients we see are used to exercising. Some are even marathon runners who are used to pushing themselves beyond the physical limit of most people. But then there's the people who've never exercised a day in their life for 65 plus years, and this is all new to them. And so you kind of have to push them a little bit to give them a taste of what they have to do and what they're capable of doing. So every time a patient will come see me, I say, let's improve your duration by 5 minutes each time you come see me. And then once we get over 30 minutes, we'll start increasing the intensity level. I think that's a general formula that works for most, but obviously I get specific with each patient and what their goals are. But yeah, I definitely have to crack the whip, so to speak, on
Yeah.
some.
In a gentle way, right?
Right, in
Not
a good
like if it
way.
was a personal training client that you, you really crack that whip. Um,
Yeah, that's a different area altogether. So
yeah, you have been involved in with you have a degree in exercise physiology, excuse me, and you've been involved in fitness for many, many years with your martial arts, your personal training. You love to hike, and I want to show everyone that you did produce. Have you written a book? I'm sorry. I know you produced
no,
this DVD.
no,
Okay,
haven't
this
written a
DVD, which is
book.
really great. See, really great. This
The
was
classic.
from a few years back. I really love that because it really shows your knowledge and your ability to motivate people and your sense of humor. So I really love that.
Yeah, it's pretty cheesy.
Yeah,
But
but it's funny. You learn a lot and then you laugh a lot at the same time with that DVD.
I'm
So,
glad you
uh,
enjoyed it,
are
Sherry.
those still available on your website?
I don't have
No.
them available anymore, but
Okay.
I do have copies. So if people want any, just ask me or send me an email or something. I can get you one.
Okay. They can contact you through your website. So one last tip on for general fitness, one tip to motivate people to do the right thing so they don't end up in the hospital. What's
Well,
one last tip that you can give?
consistency with your exercise routine and trying to find a diet that works for you that involves a little healthy dose, so to speak, of food throughout the day. A lot of patients that I see and people that I see and talk to, they ask me, what am I supposed to be eating? But uh, you can't change your diet overnight. It's a gradual process because if you change it overnight, you're going to fail because you're not used to eating that way. So what I recommend to everybody is just keep your diet the same for a little while. Limit your portion sizes. Cut it back to half of or 75%. Well, let me start over. Knock that down about 25% what you normally would eat, and add an apple or a banana or something healthy to it, and then just gradually taper off so that you're eating more healthy over time. Because, like I said earlier, if you try to do it all at once, your success rate is going to be very low.
Too overwhelming. Good
Yeah.
tips.
So yeah, just try to eat healthy and stay consistent with your workout routine.
Yeah. So one more thing, I want to congratulate you. You've gotten married since you were on the show last,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah.
Congratulations
No,
on
thank
that.
you.
And one more thing, I want to ask you to show me your favorite shoe for the moment, because a lot of us have a lot of favorite shoes. But what's your favorite shoe lately?
Well, my favorite shoe is a hiking boot like this because I enjoy hiking. Was excited for the summer to come around this year so I can get back out and start doing it. But once the winter hits, I think I'll probably do some more snowshoeing like I did last year. And yeah, it's just peaceful. It's something I enjoy doing.
Yeah, and you live in a great area for both seasons,
Yeah,
hot
I'd
or
be
cold.
stupid
So
not to take advantage of
yeah,
it.
yeah, that's wonderful. So I just want to show my shoe real quick. I have a favorite shoe for each show, and this one is Nike. Love it. I found it at the store. They did not have my size, so I almost cried. But then when I noticed the shoe on display was my size, I ran and said, "Get the meat. I gotta have it." So love it. So anybody sees me, I wear these often, and I love Nike. Been hooked on Asics lately, but I think Nike has won me back with these. So love them.
Oh, it's a really nice shoe.
But I want to say thank you to you for all your information, coming back to the show, and I look forward to having you back again, if you will, in the
Yeah,
future.
definitely.
Okay, that sounds great. One more thing I just want to mention about Jeffrey. He's very very humble, But he's also done a lot of modeling, fitness model. So you may have seen some really great photos of a nice looking young man physique, and that was him. So if you're online, I'm sure you can Google his name and see a lot of his great photos. So you're very photogenic, and that's
Oh, well, thank you.
and you work hard at staying fit, and that's why you do what you do. But what you do for others is wonderful. So thank you for that, and look forward to talking to you again. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you like this show, please share it with a friend and subscribe. Thank you. Thanks, Jeffrey.
Thank you.